Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Let's take a look here at Bitcoin. Looking like it wants to break down. Bitcoin dominance is extremely high and all coins are just bleeding out profusely. I mean, this is an example of how terrible Bitcoin is right now because you can see SUI has finally dropped its bottom. Right, so it just gives you kind of perspective here that we're on the edge of, I wouldn't say disaster, but strong chance we're going to make a run down to potentially this lower fib level here, 57,000 and some change. There's a lot of reasons why that could happen. I'll explain that. There's also reasons why it may not happen too, but statistically we're more probable to break down than up at this point. Just because, again, you can only test a support level so many times before it breaks. I mean, we've knocked on this door 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times over the last 24 to 40 hours. So that's quite a lot of attempts, and we're going to see here soon if that can hold. But the general consensus is that we're in a bearish trend. There's no reason for us to expect it to discontinue, so I would just presume the price will go down, and you'll be happier, likely, or less disappointed is probably the better way to put it. If you could, please hit the like button, comment below if you get a chance. Love to hear your feedback, but deeply appreciate those who do that every video. More importantly, just hitting the like button, getting this in front of more people. It's really, really helpful. Thank you. So what we want to look at here is a few things. First of all, 63,200. We talked about that yesterday being kind of a heavy concentration of liquidation on the upside. It pales in comparison to how much we have to the downside. So a lot more reasons why the price could continue to pull back, because market makers love to destroy high leverage and medium leverage longs, at least in this regard when the price is going down. And just in general, it makes sense that we're going to see a test that 59K range. We zoom out a little bit here, we can see a lot more liquidation starting to form in the 59 to 58K range. The most amount of liquidation is at that low $57,000 range. We see each one of these red bars here is basically $5 to $10 billion. It's quite a lot. It's a big chunk of change. I haven't added up yet, but it's it adds up fast. All right, so those are the billions of dollars down there. We can see here, of course, nothing has changed here. The delta for shorts, we still got a roughly 9 billion is our delta, which implies that pretty much everyone and their dog is shorting right now, and there's no real reason to buy into that. It makes no sense. Open interest here is roughly the same. 62,000 is pretty much that common denominator here for the local range. So let's take a look at the daily time frame, work our way down, kind of see what's going on. And just to keep in mind, I have potential Elliott wave pattern here forming or developing, however you want to put it. This is just strictly hypothetical, of course, but based on the current uptrend, we should experience at least one more leg up. However, we could get a reset here soon if we drop anywhere below 58K. So I would not put a lot of hope into that. This is just basically just an overall scenario. While it has a larger statistical probability of occurring, some people put way too much weight into it. It's based solely on Fibonacci retracement, and that's helpful, but it's very limiting. So do not perform any analysis strictly on that one premise there with Elliott wave. It's absolutely a good indication, just not foolproof. Really only should be used for risk management. We take a look here, of course, we can see we're under 50 on the RSI. We talked about that previously. All the more reason why the price action is more likely to continue lower than higher, or just important to recognize we got some resistance above us. There's that too. MACD is still diverging, of course, and when we look at our moving averages on the price action, we can see we're below the 20, the 50 now, the 100-day. We're pretty much below every single moving average for the moment, okay? And if you look at the last time we broke below all moving averages, we spent some time down in that range. So I'm not presuming we're going to see the price drop really hard, but I do think it's safe to consider that being a strong reality for us here. We got our 0.618 fib level. In fact, why don't we just pull up larger fib levels, kind of so we kind of understand where we're at. Again, that our strong support range is in that $57,000 area, okay? So heaven forbid we lose this current support at 60,000, which isn't honestly much of a support level. There's a good chance we see further downside. We look at the 4-hour, we can start seeing some patterns forming. Actually, I'll show the pattern in the hourly. It's a little easier to identify. But at this point here, as you work your way down, we're still establishing lower highs. There's no other way around it. Until we break above this descending trend, it's going to continue lower. That's really the bottom line. Because again, the reason why that happens is every time the price comes down and back up, the bears are essentially selling and selling and selling. There's more selling pressure than there is buying pressure. And in turn, the whales can only do so much, right? It doesn't matter really what they try to do. If everyone is selling, you really can't buy, if that makes sense. Okay, so again, if we look at the 4-hour, stochastic swinging down, RSI and money flow index are kind of in that sweet spot. We should, by technical standpoints, see a recovery here soon. That's generally what this is telling us. MACD is also trying to converge too, but hasn't had the chance. So there's a lot of reasons why that we're more likely to go down. But if we look at everything else, there's still a slight chance we go up. And what I mean by that here, let me go ahead and just kind of show you and explain. We do have a falling wedge here that's pretty obvious to me. That is essentially working its way down. So again, it's a little easier to see if we highlight it in probably a better color, but that's what a falling wedge looks like, folks, when the price action continues to establish lower lows, lower highs, and essentially works itself into a tight range. And the reason why these break up, for the most part, is generally because the bears are starting to lose control, at least from a pattern perspective. Based on volume and the way that everything's kind of forming with all of our resistances above us, there's a strong chance we see the price go down. But you also got to recognize too, market makers are brilliant in a lot of ways right now. They just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. As soon as that lower level gets swept, which we might even see like a sweep down to 59.5, 59,000, the price will recover back as if it never happened and continue higher. They lull you into a sense of trying to short the bottom or along the top. So they did that here, of course, with a lot of folks. Unfortunately, a lot of folks got caught here when the price action jumped above 62K. It was only there for like 30 minutes, but a lot of late longs got trapped here, and now they're kind of in the red. So again, generally speaking here at this point, when you see this kind of behavior, it's best to avoid it. Like, I don't know. I'm the kind of person, whenever I see like a large crowd of people, like a mosh pit. Granted, when I was a lot younger, it was a different story, but nowadays I see, a big gathering of people, and I prefer to steer clear of it because it just makes me feel uncomfortable. I don't like that kind of feeling you get. We have the very similar scenario here where there's just a large group of disgruntled bulls and bears. They're trying to fight it out. Let them do their thing. Let's get an established range first and then take a trade. Truth is, the established range is down. It was moving down, but we're right at this precipice of potential reversal. We have to give it a chance to play out. And I think taking a trade either to the upside or downside right now is absolutely a flip of a coin. But on the same accord, you're going to see a little bit more statistical probability of the price going lower too. Okay. So again, if you're going to err on the side of caution, a short makes a lot more sense than a long. It's just hard to want to short into a key level support. And 60,000 has proven to be pretty strong support. But we keep retesting this level, folks. We're inevitably going to just go ahead and break it. Keep in mind too, again, Bitcoin dominance isn't looking back here. Altcoins are hemorrhaging. There's really no reason to take any long positions today, specifically no longs with altcoins. Okay, so just bear that in mind. All right, so I'll post our playout chart on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. I'll clean up the charts here, effectively give us better perspective of what's going on. But I would say no trade is a good trade at this point. It's okay to pump the brakes. It's nothing wrong with not trading for a little while. Keep in mind that good traders are going to be patient traders. At least that's generally the way that it works. People that burn up and burn out are those who overtrade. Okay, so try not to be another statistic. Be careful who you listen to, including myself. If you found benefit today, comment below, like the video, whatever the case is. I appreciate it. I can tell you we've got a lot of new subscribers, a lot of new members coming over, and it's been really nice to be able to work with some people. The only unfortunate part about my job is that a lot of people come over to our community with the expectation of me recovering their portfolio. While I can help you become a better trader for yourself, I'm not going to do that work for you, but all the tools are there, right? So just continue to try to make it a better life for you, and it does take some patience and perseverance here, and we'll get there. Once more, one day at a time. Thanks again so much, folks. Look forward to working with you. Oh, very last thing too, I'm sorry, Bitunix does have a deposit bonus right now that goes for anyone who's used my link to register in the past and or those moving forward. So make sure you take advantage of that. That's available this month here in October. All right, folks, have a good rest of the day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.